Good morning, everybody. Lee Brower here, and welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I am grateful to be here, and I am glad to be here. You know what? You know what you want. You know what you want. Yet how often do you allow yourself to get pulled in multiple directions? Coming into the day, fully intending to do this and this and this, and these interruptions come in and lead you away from your desired path. You run from one event or one fire to another, juggling these different balls and then unintentionally dropping even the balls that you value the most. You wouldn't think of starting your day without charging your cell phone. Why would you start your day without charging yourself? Spiritually, emotionally, physically, and intentionally. Can I share with you what I call a platform, or maybe I should be called a booster? How to counteract that unintentionality, how to counteract the distractions, to have the power to say no to even the very importance, because you understand there's a bigger essential. For those of you that have been around me lately, I've been talking about railroad trains, using that as an analogy. So bear with me as I use the same analogy to help each of us be even more intentional and more productive. And I grossly underestimated, so listen to the numbers. How much does a freight train weigh? The average freight train in the United States is between 100 and 110 cars long. It usually has 4 engines. So how much does a freight train weigh? A lot. On the average, at least 15,000 tons. 15 to 20,000 tons, depending on the load. That's 30 million pounds or more. Now you're the engineer. You're sitting in the engine, lead engine. You got these 4 engines with you. They're all up and going, ready to go, ready to just tear down the road to take this important load to the next destination. It's like you starting the day to get the most important things done by the end of the day. And so the engine's going, the brakes released, yanks on the horn, all aboard. Then what? Does he go forward? No. He goes backwards. He backs up. Why? To make sure that he's connected to his precious cargo, to make sure that he's connected to those things that he values most for that day and getting it done. That's going to lead him to where he wants to go. So he's going to back up, make sure he's got all the connections. He doesn't want to start the day without the load. He'd have to go back the next day and get the load again, and go back the next day and get it again. Let's get it all. The most important things, let's get it all to where we want to go. So connect first. But it also takes up the slack between each car. So there's slack between. So coming in, it eliminates 1 foot to 2 feet of slack between each car. So when he starts to go, then he's connected. Now he can go, and that slack releases between him and the first car. And it's enough to pull that first car, which then releases slack between the next car, which is enough to do that. So motion gets him in motion, heading down the track to his destination. Well, imagine your day starting that way every day, where before you go, you back up, you connect with those things that you value most. You review your destination, and then you start moving in small steps towards that destination with the power and the ability to say no to even the very important. Now there's a quote from John Wooden that says, "I'm not what I ought to be, not what I want to be, not what I'm going to be, but thank goodness I'm not what I used to be." And this book, which has started out as my Empowered Wealth Journal, it really isn't a journal, it's more of an accountability journal. And in this, I'm able to focus in on my mornings and my evenings, but how I start the mornings. I have a series of questions here, but the most important thing for me is 4 little circles that if I check them off, they stand for prayer, meditation, exercise, and diet. If I do the prayer and meditation, it brings me into intentionality of knowing where I'm going, what I'm doing. I review this book. I have complete intentionality before I hit the day, before I push the gas forward. I'm reviewing those things that I value most. And it empowers me. When I do that, I truly have the power to say no to the very important so that I can stay focused on my essential. Now, I wish I could say I do it every day. I'm not what I ought to do, but it's the little things. John Wooden also said it's the little details that are vital. Little things make big things happen. So my challenge to you and to me, I have my empowering question here. I'm going to share it with you. If you want to use it, take it and use it for yourself. But I have it here in my accountability journal so that I look at it every morning. Can I begin this day with the intentionality, confidence, and courage to say no to even the very important, so that I can accomplish the essential yeses that move me closer to my most meaningful future? That will inspire me. I want to see how many successive days I can get in a row. I challenge you the same. Make this week meaningful. Make life meaningful. I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.